Good morning, humanity. It's December 12th, 2022, and it's your favorite time of the week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody, my name is Paul.
Good morning, and I'm Bev.
Hello, Bev.
Hello, Paul.
And hello, all of you out there on this fine Monday morning where in Tucson we have 22-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes. After that dry weather now, everybody's eyes are going to bulge and
Oh,
sinuses are going to go crazy and scratchy
yep.
throats and everybody's going to think, "Oh my God, I need a test." And it's just the dust in the air. So,
No, it's just good old desert weather.
yep, yep. So, yeah, we've been having the mid 70s already. God, too amazing.
Uh,
All right, folks, you are loved. BioTouch is about letting ourselves be loved. So we're going to talk about that again. It's a recurring theme that we always have. But what the reason it brought it up, I showed you that little cartoon. I'm going to share it with everybody here. So somebody
yeah.
posted on our BioTouch Revolution of Love site, or maybe on our Facebook page, this little cartoon. These two little chipmunks, and going. The first one says, "The world is hurting. I want to help, but how?" And the other one hugs it and goes, "You are loved," and then pass it on. Okay. And then they go to this little elephant and, "You are loved. Pass it on." And they hug this elephant. The elephant goes, "Okay, maybe it's a rhinoceros. I can't tell."
Whatever.
And then the elephant goes, "You are loved. Pass it on," hugging looks like a lion. Lion goes, "Okay." And then the lion is hugging a giraffe. "You are loved. Pass it on." And then there's a whole line of a rabbit and an owl and an alligator. And then there shows this whole world. "You are loved. Pass it on."
Oh,
Cute.
it
And
is.
the way it was posted on our website was, on our Facebook page was, "This is the mission of BioTouch."
It is the vision and the mission of BioTouch, it to pass it on.
Yes, and it is something that we all possess, and BioTouch is just a way to give us how to put love into action.
Right?
And we talked about how now we're not here trying to define love for you, right?
No,
So,
not even.
right. But it's a word that we use in a sense as a matter of convenience for something that's inexplicable, huh?
Yep,
And
pretty
even in
much.
our manual, we talk about everyone because of their inherent love and compassion for those who are suffering can perform these methods without limitation. And that inherent love is in all of us. You don't have to
Yep.
go get it.
No, I think we've been told for eons of time from all the great teachers that have come here, been here, that we are divine love. That's who we are, and everything in the universe is just love. Well, as you said, that word expresses something greater than what we can conceive of. So we
Right.
use that word. Of course, it's better than using other things, but I think the key is that when you're able to express whatever that is that's divine within you, we'll call it love. When you're able to express that in the world, then you are what the masters have told us. You
Right.
are love.
And
And so we use that as kind of a convenience
yeah,
because we
matter
don't
of
know what love
convenience.
is.
But there's numerous ways that it's been expressed in the healing world. We wanted to share how that simple thing called love can actually be incorporated into our healthcare program and actually make changes from certain people we've heard from. I'm also, which is why I got involved with BioTouch. It was sort of the answer to my 5-year-old birthday wish that everybody could be happy, healthy, and loved.
Yeah.
And I was wishing that at 5 years old. Who knows what the hell I was thinking, but I wasn't wishing for a
You
bike.
weren't.
So BioTouch, when I met the old timer in Mancos who said, Norman and Carol brought love to the Mancos Valley, and people were being helped and they were being healed, so to speak, from some of their ailments and their pains. and they were all sharing a common denominator with one another in that room. Though their political and their background, social economic status was different, for a while they were all the same. Everybody was equal in that room.
Yeah, we've mentioned that many times. BioTouch is it breaks down the barriers. It's kind of the neutralizer. And the beauty of BioTouch, and when we talk about it in terms of healing, is that it offers all of us an opportunity to express what we call love. There's you doesn't have to be a dialogue about, well, what is it, and maybe it's this, and maybe I'm not going to do this, and maybe I this is it. Actually, when we say that BioTouch puts love into action, think about that, because that's what it's offering each of us, an opportunity to express compassion in our hearts with another person.
And again, we're going to share Gary Schwartz's, forward to the book. He goes, "The second lesson is somewhat deeper and frankly inspiring to me and maybe to you as well. The lesson relates to a theme expressed through Deborah's book, the importance of love and the process of receiving and giving non-sexual loving touch. The kind of love that BioTouch fosters is a high level of love, including empathy, compassion, kindness, gentleness, protection, safety, warmth, gratitude, appreciation, and respect." He goes on to say, "This is the kind of love that I emphasize in a workshop I regularly give at Canyon Ranch titled Awakening the Power Within, Achieving Optimal Health Through Energy Healing. I teach the guests the core principle: energy flows where the loving mind goes."
Isn't that just, and that really ties in with what Dr. Lipton has made a statement about, right?
Yes.
That we all have the power through healing to change the story at the cellular level. And the kicker is you change the story with love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that could, that's a, where do you go with that? But that's a good place to start.
And what we're seeing is BioTouch is a way to start, and it's funny. I have a primary care physician. She's a doctor of integrative medicine. She has her own clinic with another doctor, both of them two women, and she's talking to me about all these things to do and not do and blood tests to take and on and on. And I said, well, I have this belief system that really love can heal us. And she turned to me very, very seriously. She said, well, I really believe that too, but I've never met anybody who could do that.
Right.
And so it's sort of like there's a belief we all have that it's possible, and yet we don't take the opportunity to find out, And
Yeah.
That's where BioTouch gives us an opportunity to incorporate it into our fear-based when we have a disease or a problem,
Right.
or the standard allopathic model has something good to offer. Some of the things that they offer, I remember going to an alternative acupuncturist, Chinese medicine doctor, and she always felt chemotherapy was a necessary part of getting rid of cancer, so long as you added a building of the body and then a cleansing of the body and something like BioTouch, just love. Love doesn't say don't do this and don't do that. And it says do whatever you feel is going to be important for your body. So it empowers us to know that. Yes, that's what BioTouch does. It awakens us to our own self-awareness and then gives us the strength to meet our healthcare practitioners to talk to them about what are the options, what can I do, and I always love to share Anita Morjani, who had what they call near-death experience, or actually died. She had stage 4 cancer. All of her organs shut down, and she basically died on the operating table in the hospital there. And the short of the story, she came back to life, And within 2 or 3 weeks, all of her organs were functioning perfectly. The cancer was gone. And she only got one message on the other side. And the message was, it's about love. And she realized what she had learned from that was she had spent her whole life, uh, all the things she did for her good health were based on fear. I have to do these things so I don't get sick. I have to do these
Right.
things so I don't get cancer. And even the fear of getting it is what she felt created that. And that the love is what healed her completely. And she also learned from that, living in that love, was the self awareness, the empowerment to get in touch with your own body and work with your healthcare practitioners on what's going to work best for you. And that's what
Yeah,
BioTouch we see over and over gives people the power to do with their healthcare.
I think I think too that what happens many times is people don't believe, or they have lost hope or faith that there is something, it's like it's the will of something that I go through this, or I'm sick, or I'm going to die, or whatever. And I think for me, BioTouch is here to say, wait a minute, there's something greater than what you're identifying with as this little victim that's sick and suffering. And yes, you have to go through that, but there's also another side to ourselves that empower us to change and to participate in that process, that healing journey with self-awareness and the body responding to BioTouch. It offers us at least an opportunity to say there is something I can do, and it doesn't matter if it's about your own health, or as that little cartoon was saying, how can I serve? Because we're
Pass it
constantly
on,
talking
right?
about BioTouch. Let us serve the whole, and not just each other, but the planet, as our show last week brought up. This is life is all connected. So BioTouch is this doorway that can offer each of us the opportunity to step through and say, no, there is something that I can do for myself, for another person. There is hope, and there's something bigger than me,
Yeah.
this little me. And that's the promise of BioTouch, because we know when you start working with it, you can call it whatever you want, but it has the power to change our experience here.
And
That's
it,
what
and
I
it,
do know.
and it gives us the opportunity to participate, as you were saying, with another in their health and their happiness and their disease. I mean, I'm reminded of that teenage girl who'd learned BioTouch, and she presented at it was a Tucson Unified School District. A lot of the couple hundred teachers came together, and she presented. And one of the main things she presented about BioTouch was the empowering tool it gave her to love her mother who had cancer and participate in her healthcare program without
Right,
sitting on the sideline, living in
right.
fear and unknowingness and helpless kind of a situation. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, when we talk about being connected, the healing process belongs to all of us. And BioTouch is this gathering of two or more, that seriously gives us the opportunity to express, to just be, because we've been told by those great teachers to just be, okay, whatever that means. But in that moment that you're practicing BioTouch, that's what you're doing. There's nothing else you need to do but use those first two fingers and touch somebody lightly on the skin.
yeah,
That lets you just be present. There's, and that's a great way to to really experience the possibility of loving and sharing and connectedness with another human being.
And just so you all know, the research shows the body can get better. I mean, just to show you here, Dr. Kenneth Stevenson's research project with all the stressors in our life that create immune dysregulation and cortisol dysregulation and the whole turning into dementia, cardiovascular disease, infections, tumors, mood disorders, obesity. And she shows how if you put BioTouch into that cycle, into that chronic stress cycle, you improve the circadian pattern of cortisol release, which improves the quality of life. And you increase interleukin 12 levels, which improves your immune system function, which increases activity of genes that fight infection and cancer and promote healthy aging. That was the research data. So it's not just some kind of theory that we're dealing with
right
here. We have the data to show something's happening physiologically.
Something happens.
Yes, with just that simple touch. So it's hard to believe. I get it. But it doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to incorporate it. In fact, I'm doing it now. I've been given, this description of a situation, right? And they give you the blood tests and the MRI, which are a crazy machine. God, it's like going through a boom, boom, But I'm doing my BioTouch. I'm just focusing on it. I'm getting all the information, and we'll see what happens. It's and when the fear comes up, I get a BioTouch session. I mean, I'm a human being. Because the
right
mind wants to go on and on and on, and this one tells you that, and this one, you're inundated with information.
right
But BioTouch really does bring it down a few notches. It says everything's going to be okay. I don't know what that means, but everything's going to be okay. And we know if you practice BioTouch, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. It's hope. It gives us hope, doesn't it?
Hope. That's the perfect word. It gives us hope.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay because everything is okay. And you're okay. You are loved. Remember this little slide here? It's what we can do. You just keep telling one another, you're loved, pass it on. And the easiest way, if you don't like the words because they're uncomfortable to say, can I do BioTouch with you? Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Can I do BioTouch on you? Do it on your kids. Do it on your grandkids. Do it on your neighbor. Do it on a stranger. What the heck?
Or ask somebody to do it with you.
Right.
Because you might need it.
And that's a tough one. And if you don't,
that's a tough one. But you know what? Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, think of that person doing it on you. That's a first step, even. Think of somebody doing just that greeting. Let me show you the greeting here. This is our 21-day challenge that we have this fun little thing to show. Of your dominant hand. Butterfly-like touch. Hold the points for 6 to 8 seconds. Point 1 just below the breastbone with the dominant hand. Point 2 just to the left of the big bone, about an inch.
Well, and start something in your life. Just something. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I will.
Oops, I didn't have my voice on, but that's all right.
Oh.
Keep on touching, keep on loving. We'll see you all next week. Thanks, Bev.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you, everyone.
All around to the sun, they come here every day. They do a lot of touching and they do it without pay. They all do it gladly because they are so sweet. Bless the staff of practitioners down on Peanut Street. Once they all had ailments, stress and other things. They know how to get relief, that's what bio-touching brings. They love helping others, people like you and me. Bless the staff of